Nate Lerner is a Democratic strategist and executive director of Build the Wave, which works on a variety of political campaigns. He joins us now live from New York. Great to have you, Nate. Just tell us a little bit more about Nancy Pelosi's strategy here. How long might she hold the articles of impeachment, and what is the next move for Democrats?
Well, it's actually quite a brilliant strategy. I'm personally a huge fan of it. I think there's a bit of disagreement within the party whether or not it's a good move. But basically what it comes down to is Democrats know what the Republican Senate is going to do. Republicans have a clear majority there. Mitch McConnell has clearly shown he does not want to be an impartial jury member. He's said he's going to move impeachment through as quick as possible and acquit Trump as quick as possible and really aid Trump as much as possible. And so instead, Democrats are saying, okay, well, hold on. Instead of sending you the articles of impeachment, which we passed, we are going to put some pressure on you and try to get you to bring in better witnesses. John Bolton, for example, would be a great witness to bring in. Other senior members of Trump's administration, Trump himself testifying, trying to get the Senate Republicans to agree on something like that before they pass the articles. And what's great is they can hold on to it for really as long as they want. There's no time requirement, so they could just never pass the articles along if they wanted to. And this is actually a big advantage because Trump is waiting for the Senate to acquit him so he can say, look, this was all a big scam. I'm innocent. The Senate has vindicated me. The House was wrong. The Senate proved I was right. But he can never say that as long as Democrats hold on to it. And so they're taking away this big talking point for him and really causing him a lot of problems.
Is this in part about Pelosi and the Democrats, do you think, exercising power in the grey areas of government where no precedent exists, something that Republicans seem to confidently often do?
Yeah, that's exactly the thing is Republicans do this all the time. They're really good at finding those gray areas where you say, well, that's not really morally right, but I guess technically it's okay because the law allows for it. The way they push voters off the voting rolls is a really good example of that, and the way they use photo ID requirements at the polls as well. And it's something that Republicans have done for a while with the rules, especially in government, and especially at the local level. And so Democrats are really just giving them a taste of their own medicine, and it's really been pleasant as a Democrat to see because we're so often on the losing side of this that it's nice to be able to return the favor for once.
It's interesting because perhaps one could think that you're lowering yourselves to the same level if you consider that a low level. Perhaps some would see that as a clever strategy by the Republicans too. So, you know, you're playing them at their own game, essentially.
Yeah, and I wouldn't really say it's so much lowering to their level so much as being clever with the rules, but in a way that's not quite as much as Republicans have been known to. I think Merrick Garland was a good example of that with the Supreme Court pick, where Obama nominated a moderate Supreme Court candidate to fill the Supreme Court vacancy, and Republicans just never voted on it. They said, we're going to wait until the 2016 election happens and see if a Republican wins, and then if a Democrat does, then we'll vote on it. If not, we'll wait and nominate someone else. And so that was a really good example of them kind of crossing the line. But this is a little bit different because it really nothing's really being hurt. Like, we already know what the outcome is going to be. There's no law saying Democrats have to pass it on. There's plenty of bills that the House passes, never passes on to the Senate. This is no different. It's the same thing. This is all just kind of theater at the moment, and Democrats are winning, which is really great.
You mentioned that the Democrats and Nancy Pelosi can take as long as she like to hold the articles of impeachment, but can she actually corner Republicans and force them to a fair trial?
Who knows? This is really unprecedented, which is what's so interesting about it, and it was really a bold move by Nancy Pelosi, which I have to applaud. Democrats are also not known for being bold on Capitol Hill, so it's nice to see. This has definitely been a much stronger Democratic House than we've seen ever before over the last few years, which has been great to see. But what they can do is Trump might start getting antsy. Voters might start, Senate Republicans might start seeing this as a distraction. They might start seeing the poll numbers slip and start realizing that it's better for them to just get this over with and move on and acquit Trump than having it sit in the news cycle for so long. And so, yeah, they might give in to some of her demands as far as witnesses who testify in the proceedings, but at the same time, they still are in the driver's seat and are very much in control. So I wouldn't expect them to do so, but you never know how this will play out.
All right, Nate Lerner, Democratic strategist, thanks very much for your time.